You know, it's one thing to get into a car that has a driver, maybe a taxi cab, but how'd you like to take a ride in a car that has no driver at all? A robot car. A law that was just signed in Sacramento yesterday makes the driverless vehicles legal here in California. Ed Laskos is here. Ed, this has got to have its critics, without a doubt.
Oh, yeah, there's always a downside. As they say, tomorrow is here today, but before you jump aboard the future, jump on over here. There you go. The driverless cars. Some say they could a rush to grab a fancy headline, leaving a nightmare to follow. That's from Jamie Court. He is with the Consumer Watchdog Group. To the video we go. We'll get you caught up here. Driverless cars, there they are, spinning around, driving around. They are now street legal in California. That after your lawmakers in Sacramento drove through legislation that Governor Brown quickly signed into law, stating Google's autonomous vehicles, as they're called, cars with nobody at the wheel, have proven to be safer, better drivers than when the average human is doing the driving. But for some, there are still, lots of unanswered questions. Think about it. The liability in a traffic crash, or passenger rights, or privacy rights, when Google, knowing exactly where we are all the time when we're in one of these cars, and where does that data all wind up? Exactly. Dave, play it.
To pass a law allowing self-driven cars, robot-driven cars, without answering key questions about our safety, our privacy rights, who's responsible in an accident, who's responsible for a traffic ticket, is insane. I mean, the legislature rushed to this because it sounded great, and we haven't had a lot to beam about in California government for a long time. So we had 110 of 120 legislators go yay, and the governor jump in that robot-driven Prius, and someone asked him, well, what if you get a ticket for running a red light? And he said, I don't know, work that out later.
Work it out later, he says, and as Jamie points out, this new law does not require anybody to go back to the legislature to work out any of those problems, leaving some to say, it is just business as usual up at our state capitol. But we do know one thing, we're not alone here. The same concerns now being heard in Florida and in Nevada, where the driverless cars also have been given the green light to hit the streets.